Hello everybody. Hello everybody. I've now got for you the second final reveal for you today, and that is my second final reveal of the day, and this is the final reveal of my airfix 1/72 scale airfix 1/72 1/72 scale sopwith camel 2F1 out of the Royal Air Force out of the Royal Air Force RAF Centenary gift set that Airfix sent to me for the Airfix sent me to for free. So yeah, obviously usual business of that I've been doing throughout this build for this aircraft. Obviously, huge thank you to Adam and Emily Houghton of Airfix and Hornby Hobbies, respectively, for sending this kit out for free. Obviously not just the BE2C, which was done, which the Royal Aircraft Factory BE2C, which was done on the last video, which was I revealed, which was on the last video. But obviously the RF Centenary gift set. The RF Centenary gift set, which the Sopwith Camel is out of, it's included in, rather, I should say. Obviously, yeah, so huge thank you to Adam and Airfix Hornby Hobbies for sending me this kit for free. But they have not paid me what to say, or paid me what to say. Obviously, so from that point of view, my my opinions are strictly my own, and nor did they pay me and nor did they give me like a schedule, nor did they give me a schedule when I had to have this model done by either, as you probably gather by given the fact that there's been quite a few gaps in between each video. It's been quite a few months now since I did the last update. So and yeah, and the only other thing I want to say is obviously a huge thank you to my godfather who got in touch with Airfix, who got in touch to Airfix to sort of to show them, obviously to make them aware of my YouTube channel and what talent and obviously the somewhat talented modeler that I am, and also so yeah. It wouldn't have been what I'm just trying to say is it wouldn't have been possible. None of this would have happened if me Godfather wouldn't have obviously had a look at, obviously showed Airfix my channel sort of thing. So without that, without further ado, let's show you the aircraft. So here she is. This is the Airfix. So this is the Sopwith Camel, now fully completed. Decals wise, obviously decals wise, unlike the B2C, there was very few and far between decals on this. Stop. There's obviously one on the there's two on the wing, two on the top side, on the top wing here. One on the fuselage sides. There's a roundel here on the fuselage. There's a roundel here on the fuselage side. On the fuselage side, there's obviously the RAF roundels on the side. Big white decal that I've since repainted over through doing the rigging, and to, I don't know if you can see it. I might have to just pick the aircraft up to show you the sidewalls. The detail a bit more. So yeah, and then obviously I've got the RF roundel, the O decal, and the O decal, and the big O decal, and the fin flash. The registration number was there. I did put on the registration number but from where I've accidentally obviously from where I've painted, I've had to repaint the aircraft due to doing the rigging. Obviously those have been painted over by accident. I didn't mean to. I had no intention of painting over the registration number. But but this aircraft, it was flown, but this is in the colour schemes of an aircraft flown by Raymond Colley Coleshaw, who was a Royal Naval Air Service pilot. Obviously they became an RAF pilot when the Royal Flying Corps and the Royal Air Force and the Royal Flying Corps and the Royal Naval Air Service merged in 1918 to become the Royal Air Force as it is today. So yeah, there's that. So there's the. To be honest, the registration number you couldn't see very well because it was right. It was right underneath the tail, the tail section here. Also, you've got the RF fin flash. I'll show you it from the other side. I'll show you from the other side. From the other side. Top of the wing. Bottom wing. Bottom wing roundels. Yeah, and then obviously, and then like obviously, and then like and then like the other, and then like the other, and then like the, and then like the, and then like the B, and then like the like the B2C, I chose to do the rigging. I choose to put in the rigging. I chose to put in the rigging all over the air. I chose to put the rigging in on the aircraft. So the wings, so the bracing wires on the front fuselage bracing wires, and the front wing, the leading edge bracing wires, the bracing wires for the sides, for the bracing wires for the inside of the in between the two wing support struts. On the other side there. Obviously, I've got the supports, the bracing wires for the support struts of the fuselage. There as well. And obviously I've got the aileron control cables. And then I'll see the elevator control cables, which are the elevator control cables, the bracing wires for the top bracing wires for the tail, bottom bracing wires for the tail. I don't know if you're going to pick this up, but I've also put in the, I don't know if it's going to show on the camera, but I've also put in the rudder control cables. I'm not sure if the light's picking that up, but the rudder cable is there. And then the only other rudder, and then the only other cable, and the only other cabling, and the only other bracing wires I put in is of course the landing gear bracket. And I don't know if you're going to see this, but there's also quite a few. I don't know. They have these. Obviously, they are there, but obviously my painting skills doesn't actually show them very well. But there is the brace. There's a couple of wire brace a control cable. There's a bracing wire, and there's another bracing wire underneath the engine, and a couple of control wires underneath the engine bay as well. In fact, because luckily, chaps and ladies, a friend of mine, a work friend of mine, who also works where I work, or a friend of mine who works where I work, who also works at a charity shop, obviously managed to pick up the charity shop where she works had a copy of the Sopwith Camel Haynes manual, and obviously she said, her boss said to her that obviously, do you know, we're getting rid of this, do you know anyone that would like this? And then she said yes, and obviously she handed it to me. So what I don't know how well the camera's going to show this, given the fact I'm filming it in quite a dark area, but what I managed to do was obviously this shows, this has a very detailed thingy about the Sopwith Camel. I might just go back. So yeah. But yeah, I've got the Sopwith Camel, and I was able to use the photographs in the Haynes manual, and this is the Sopwith Camel Haynes manual. So I was able to use obviously the photos I was able to use this. I was able to use the pictures of the camel, of the various different camels from various different angles in this book, to obviously not only just for the rigging, but also not just only the rigging, but also painting various parts of the aircraft. I mean, this. If you can get, I'll tell you what, chaps. If you can ever get one of these Haynes manuals, I would highly recommend it, because the photographs are absolutely stunning. Because you've got, not only have you got highly detailed, high definition color photos, but you also get period photo, obviously photos from the First World War, in this case from the First World War, of the aircraft, of when it was in service. I mean, you get the idea, loads of obviously loads of camel photographs. And here's one of the colour photos that I use for the side on view. I could do a video. If you want, I could do a whole separate video on this book. But obviously I didn't have, in my kit I didn't have the cockpit, but obviously it's got photographs of the cockpit. That's the photograph I used for the rigging to do. That's the photograph I used to do the rigging on the wing support on the fuselage mounted wing supports, wing struts. Shots of of one of the engines, of the Leclerc engines. This is the photograph. So to do the rigging detail on the engine, I use this photograph here because obviously it's got the bracing wires for the landing gear bracket here. Then there's a control wire, and then there's another bracing wire here. There's a couple of bracing wire. There's loads of bracing. There's bracing wires all in this engine area. So I use that photo to do the engine detail, the engine wiring detail. Obviously, close-up shots of various different areas of the aircraft. And this was how these 4 photos here, chaps, was how I got the aileron control cables, the aileron control cable. This is how I got the rudder and the elevator control, the rudder control cables, the elevator and rudder control cables, and the bracing wires for the tail. We'll see more cockpit photos. And then of course here we've got the brilliant thing about this book is you've got, of course, the brilliant thing about this book is you've got the original drawings, the original brown paper drawing, the original engineering drawings. Guns, wheel, the bit where the wood meets the bit of the aircraft where the wood meets the where the wooden section meets the fabric. Guns and bombs, because obviously the Camel in its later years of service did use bombs, and of course the airboard notes on the Leclerc jet. on the engine, the Leclerc engine, and of course this thing, Sopwith carrier could be equipped with 3 engines. It was the Leclerc engine, the Leclerc engine, the Larone engine, the Monosupa, the Monosupa, the Monosupe engine, the Leclerc engine, and of course the other engine that this had was the Bentley engine. But yeah, pilot's view. Obviously pilot. This is obviously again view of the aircraft in service. And of course, this particular one here. This is the one that that the Brooklands Museum has, that does engine runs, and this has got the Bentley engine in it. Again, more colour photos of the sort of camel that I used to obviously do the rigging. Now, as you can probably see in that photo, the rigging, where my finger is, the rigging on the 2 bracing wires that go from there, that go from the wing, go down to the undercarriage bracket, are mounted in line with the undercarriage bracket. I misread the drawing, and I've put my bracing wire on the wings and not the undercarriage bracket here. So yeah, I made a bit of an error there, but you know, to be honest with you, the drawings, I mean, I should have known this because I should have known this from the engineering drawings, but obviously for what you guys have got to, for those of you who are not for those of you who don't understand, for those of you who are new to the Hobbit, for those of you who've not done, for those of you who have not got any engineering experience, engineering drawings are 2D drawings. Engineering drawings are drawn in two dimensions. They're never drawn. They very rarely are engineering drawings, and this is where either Mus Vivi or this is where either engineering a YouTube channel by the name of Engineering Darkside or Mus Vivi comes in and tells me different. But generally speaking, engineering drawings are done in 2 dimensions. Are done in 2 dimensions, so 3D. So it's quite easily to, you know, I shouldn't. So anyone that's never that's never read an engineering drawing before might mistake the positioning. I have, and I misread, and I've missed it, and I made the mistake of misreading the drawing from the book. But yeah, little bit, yeah. So yeah, but hey ho, never mind. It's an imperfection I will live with. But yeah, more photos from the camel. And this is Shuttleworth collections. The Shuttleworth collections, which is in Biggles, which is just the other side of Biggleswade in Bedfordshire. But yes, this of course here you've got the airboards, which the airboards drawings for the airboards drawings for the rigging. Here and here. here and here. Another couple of period photographs in the appendixes. So yeah, that's the reference book I used on that. This is the reference book I used. Now back to the model. So yeah, that's the reference book I used on the Camel, and like I say, this is the final result. To be honest with you, so obviously, yeah, I'm really happy with this, how this turned out. In the end, I'm really pleased with how this has turned out, chaps and ladies. So yeah, so I guess it's the usual business. So as you guys know, I normally do a LC. The one thing I didn't do, and the B2, you'll see this in the photos anyway. But no, I did. I think I did show that on both aircraft. So yeah, I guess then I'll give you. So like the other aircraft, it's time for. Now the other thing you probably can realise is you can probably see the aircraft sitting, leaning to one side. There's a reason for that. The landing gear on this kit is, and I should have, I think I touched on it when I was doing the video of it all built, of when it was fully built. The landing gear on this kit is incredibly fragile, and of course, when I initially done the reveal, when I did the video to show it when it was painted up and glossed, you might have saw the this wheel was slightly lower than this wheel. Of course, the wheel here, of course, when I was doing the rigging on this thing, that wheel the wheel on this side, where my finger is, the wheel on this side decided to come off. So I glued it back on, and of course, where I've glued it back on to where I can get maximum, where I can get it to stick, of course, it causes the aircraft to lean to this side. So that's why that's that. So that's why it's leaning. That's why it's leaning like it is, I'm afraid. But yeah, other than that, so yeah, where was I? Kit scores. Kit scores. In terms of instructions, in terms of kit review, instructions easy to follow. Instructions are really easy to follow. The instructions are really easy to follow. Clarity are really easy to follow, even though they are the old airfix instructions that don't give a paint color, or very rarely give you a paint color in terms of to paint things up with. Internally, having said that, there's not a lot in terms of internal detail wise. There's not a lot on this kit. Obviously, you've got the pilot that's on the peg that sits on two pegs to form a seat. You've got the machine gun. You've got the Vickers. You've got the Vickers machine gun. You've got the Vickers machine gun. You've got the Vickers machine gun on this side, and obviously the Lewis gun on the top wing, and obviously you've got the engine, you've got the engine, you've got the Bentley engine there. You got the Bentley engine, and that's about it. In terms of real McCoy detail. So yeah, yeah, you got the engine. Obviously, so kit. Obviously, quality of the plastic. Obviously, kit review. Obviously, instructions are easy to follow. The kit itself, obviously, because this is a 1950s molding. The kit, the actual sprue, the tooling was showing its age. There was a lot of flash. There was a lot of flash on the kit, on the part. There was a lot of flash on the parts. A lot of flash on the parts. A lot of flash on the parts that had to be cleaned up. The decals were in print, and really the decals the clarity of the decal the decals were in print and easy to read, and easy to in print and in register, and obviously the registration number was clear to the registration number, the aircraft serial number was dead easy to was readable. I don't know what the posh way of saying readable is. Eligible, I think that is the word I think I'm looking for. Was eligible, and then of course construction fit wise. This did have obviously fit wise. So kit in instruction. So the review of it is 10 out of 10. Build wise, apart from the step on the fuselage on both, apart from the steps on the fuselage and the engine bay and the engine cowling, this kit went together really, really well. Actually. Obviously, the one thing I would advise with this, if anyone's got this, has got the Irish Centenary gift set and they're thinking of building it, the one thing I would recommend is the locating pins, that actually glue the that help locate the fuselage halves together. If I were you, I'd chop them off, because where this is a really old tooling, those pins are off center, so are off center to the point it causes the fuselage to have a step, quite a significant step. I mean, I chopped those off and got it level, and got the fuselages level in terms of having not having step, in terms of minimalising. I mean, not having a large step, there was still a bit of a step, and there was also, and of course the byproduct of doing that is you end up having a step between the step where the engine is and going where the engine is, and at the end of the end of the fuselage just before the rudder. So yeah, build fit wise, build quality, I think I'll go for, apart from those steps went together really well, so I'll go for 8. I'll maybe go for 8 out of 10. An 8 out of 10 review. 8 out of 10 on my review. On my 8 out of 10 on fitting. Obviously, painting and decaling. Obviously, you can go. You guys can feel free to disagree with me here, but I think painting wise, I've done a really 10 out of 10 on my paint job. I feel I've done really well on my paint job, so 10 out of 10 for the painting. That's my own personal score, by the way. You can beg to differ if you wish to. The decals went down really well actually, so no issues in terms of silvering or no issues in terms of silvering or breaking up upon on in terms of breaking up on in terms of in terms of breakup in terms of transferring for, or no silvering or breaking up, or in terms of no silvering and they didn't break up, leaving the decal paper, the backing sheet onto the aircraft in terms of and going backing on, leaving the backing paper and going onto the aircraft. In terms of going onto the aircraft, so onto the aircraft. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. And like I say, other and then so yeah, decals are 10 out of 10. Would I recommend this to a beginner? Yes, but I would recommend this to a beginner, but all I would advise is obviously take your time, particularly when fitting the, take your time and maybe even ask for help for putting the, and if it's a young modeler, I would ask for help putting the wing of getting the wing struts on, of getting the wing struts, of getting the top wing on, because the way there's a the way I got this on was getting the full strut, all the struts, all the support struts in, and then waiting for them to glue, and then gluing them in, and then waiting for it to slightly harden off, but not harden off too much. So in other words, whilst they were still dry, whilst they was towards the final end of being fully gassed off, and then putting on the top wing. And again, this kit looks really nice even without the rigging. And so if a beginner, a young modeler, if a beginner that's a young modeler that's a beginner that wants to build this but doesn't feel too confident doing the rigging, this kit goes together really well even without the rigging. This kit looks really nice even without the rigging. So yeah, this kit looks really nice even without the rigging. It goes really well without the rigging. And yeah, so that is it on my, so yeah, that's it on the on the Sopwith Camel. So yeah, that's it for the B2C. Now I'm just going to quickly show you what I'm building next, and what's being on the review for next, because obviously I'm not rushed. The reason why I've sped things up is because my battery's running low, and if I'm not careful it's going to die. So yeah, so I'll just quickly show you what I've got building next, and then I'm going to have to go, and then I have got to go, I'm afraid. I would have liked this is 39 minutes. Yeah, I normally do videos around this time, don't I? Yeah, so yeah, anyway, you're probably wondering what SteamFab 61 is building. So that's it for the final reveal. But what am I building next? Well, what am I building next? As I said in the last video, in my final reveal video, the B2C, and you will get a review of this, is I'm building this, the airfix 1/72 scale P51D Mustang. The airfix 1/72 scale P51D Mustang in American markings, obviously, because obviously it's an American plane. Yeah. And then I'm building, and then of course the only other thing I'm building is this, and then the other thing I'm going to be building, I'm going to do a review of this shortly as well, is the airfix one, is the Spitfire that's out of the airfix, that's out of this, the RF Centenary gift set. So you'll get a review. So you've got reviews to come on that, on this, and that. And like I say, thank you very much for watching. And like I say, huge thank you to and like I said in the last video, like I said in the last video, huge thank, like I said in the last video, towards the end of the last video, huge thank you to Adam and Airfix of Adam and Emily Houghton of Airfix and Hobby Hobbies, and I'll and also huge thanks to my godfather. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This video. Take care. Have fun. Enjoy modelling. Take care. Take care. Stay safe. Be safe. Follow all the precautions. Follow all the precautions in terms of social, all the precautions and precautions and regulations in your country, and legislation, your precautions and legislation in your country, and wherever you're watching this, in terms of where you're watching this from your local authorities. And I hope you enjoyed this build. I really hope you enjoyed this build log, and I'll see you on the next video with the 2 reviews. But for now, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Alright, bye everybody. Catch you later, chaps and ladies. Bye.